Hey everyone, this is Waleed Yousif. Today we have a special guest here with us, Robert Kirby with Kirby Real Estate. And I have worked with Robert. We have had great communication here for real estate in the RGV Valley. He's a real estate professional, work with investors, definitely great real estate agent. So Robert, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Wally, thank you for letting me be here with you today. My name is Robert Kirby, and I run the Kirby Real Estate team. My team is made up of me and my partner, my wife, Christina, and we're just really excited about what real estate is, how we interact with people, and we've been doing real estate for a little bit more than 7 years now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, just to give a background, the reason why we have that interview, you're one of the great real estate agents who have great relationship with investors here in the RGV Valley. So we thought, we want to make this video to see how you approach real estate investors, how you have that relationship long term with the investors. So if we start kind of like basic, how do you define agent-investor relationship, and to be more specific here locally in the RGV Valley?
That's a great question. Working with people is really important. I recently got certified with John Maxwell, and a lot of the principles that I follow are based on what John Maxwell's leadership training provides. And it's a thing about building relationships with people, building a relationship on trust, listening more and talking a little bit less, understanding what their needs are and trying to help them fulfill their needs and their goals.
Right. That's good. And like how is your approach? Let's start with this. So how is your approach when you reach out, or when real estate investors reach out to you? So how is your first, how is the first starting approach with the real estate investors here?
A lot of times it's getting to know your investor, asking them certain questions. How long have they been investing? What type of properties do they currently own? What are they looking to get out of the property? That way we build a rapport with the investor and understand the quality of properties that they're looking for. In every type of investor is a little different. When you're looking for a first-time investor, you're going to walk with them a little bit more. You're going to take them step by step through the entire process. Versus an experienced investor, you may show them a property and they may just make that offer sight unseen, and that's the relationship that I have with that.
Right. And with that, like, we know for real estate investors, market could change, especially if they're going to flip that property as a fixer-upper. So how do you mitigate that risk, and how do you have that risk management between you and your clients?
That's a great question. A lot of people right now, for example, right now with the high interest rates, and over this last year, interest rates have gone from 6 to 7, even to 8%. Well, the game has changed in flipping homes a little bit. That home that you would buy maybe a year ago or 2 years ago and sell it in a month or two may sit on the market a little bit longer. So you have to educate your investor as far as, hey, you know what, this is the price point that we want to be in. We want to make sure that we don't overinvest in property, and they understand that, hey, property may be sitting on the market a little bit longer after you finish the property because of the high interest rates that are taking place.
Right, which have them to have like a buffer, so they account for something like that.
Yes, that's right.
They more on the market.
They want to make sure that they have an understanding that, hey, you know what, they're okay 3 months, maybe even 6 months out, because that investment is still attractive, but just taking a little bit more time to sell.
Right, and to go from with the market right now and how it could be challenging for some real estate investors, how do you go about really like what's the best practices and also like communication with them about the market, having that expectation, property could sell for, for more if they have to stay more on, on the market, or what's the price point? How do you go about that with the real estate investors?
There's a great thing that we say right now in real estate. It's date the rate, marry the house.
Right.
Same thing in investment. You're going to have a higher interest rate today, but in the future, we can always get that property refinanced to add value to your property that you're purchasing.
Right. And I see that too. We had that conversation before. You try to see that property could be a flip for exit strategy, and also if possibility could be a buy and hold. So if that, for example, if that market doesn't work at that time, then maybe buy and hold could be a good strategy, alternative strategy.
And it could be about talking to them. If you're gonna primarily be flipping homes, maybe a year or two ago you could flip a $250,000, a $350,000 home. Today I would keep that $225,000, $200,000. Best place, under 200 would be the best place that I would try to stay at.
Great. And another thing too, I see you're really good at this. I see you really active on social media, really active on communication. How do you have that to continue? So you're in communication with the client, with the real estate investor. I see quite often when you have property, you have it on social media, you have it communicated everywhere, so everyone know, the properties that you have.
One of the biggest things that we do is we have a big presence in social media, and also we have a large database that we communicate continuously. As we get property, we're always shooting property out to them. When we get somebody, we collect their business card, we get their information, they're going straight into our database, and it's going into our marketing platform that's sending them alerts. Hey, there's a new property coming out. With social media, we try to be very active. We know that in today's world, you want to be doing video at least once or twice a day. If you can get 1 or 2 videos a day, you're going to be very active in social media. You're going to get that recognition, especially here in the Rio Grande Valley. A lot of people are using Instagram, Facebook, what is the other one? TikTok. TikTok, you have to learn how to use those different platforms. So I'm always trying to learn what those platforms are, how to use them, and how to best communicate to my audience.
Right, which also I talk to a lot of agents too. How do you go about, some agent would say, well, I don't have time. I'm more busy showing houses or, meeting with the clients. So how do you set up that? How do you have that, continue having that content on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok?
That's a great question. So I have a great partner. My wife is my partner, and she handles all of our media content. So basically she may say, hey, I need you to do a video, or we need to do some kind of presentation, and then she'll take that and she'll put it out into all of the different platforms that we have.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's really good. And I see you really active, not week on, week off, every week. I see every day. I see
we send out a flyer to our database, and it says we're working through the holidays.
Right.
So I just had an appointment today, and the lady was just like, yeah, I got your flyer. It says we're working through the holidays.
That's good. That's good. Beautiful. And I also want to ask you, because we see this quite often in investing, especially throughout the deal transaction, from when they have it under contract all the way to closing. Situation could happen. There is liens, there is probate, there is things going on. So it could be a stressful situation during that time. you mentioned about John Maxwell and the leadership. How do you take that leadership into practice in during that, let's say, stressful time or challenging time during the transaction?
That's a great question. I think sometimes, we're always faced with different situations. There may be a great property and we're getting ready to close, and something happens, something comes up, there's a lien.
Right.
It's about communication. John Maxwell just wrote a book. It's his 16 Laws of Communication. And being able to understand the way to communicate to people and be genuine to them and be honest with them, be timely with the communication. And what I do every week is I'm checking in with the investor, the seller, if there's another agent involved, if there's a lender involved. I check in with all those different resources just to make sure that the project's moving along where it needs to be. If there's a bump in the road, I try to understand what that bump is, what needs to be mitigated there, and talk to my investor and let them know, hey, this is what's happening. This is how we're going to get through it.
Right. Very good. That's very good. And let me ask you this part too. How do you also see the long term? Some agents may say, well, it's just one transaction. I'll just want to get my commission and move on to a different transaction. Now we see the difference between the traditional buyer and the investor buyer is that the investor, they do more deals, they finish a project, then they start another project, where the first-time family home buyer, they perhaps would buy one or two properties. So how do you go about not looking at it as one transaction, and how do you do that as a long-term relationship with the investors? That's really good that you asked that, because with investors, you get to know your investor and you want to keep that communication going. You want to continue to send them property that they're interested in. You want to have that conversation with them on a, maybe not on an everyday or weekly basis, but it may be every month or two. Reach out to them, invite them out to coffee, have lunch with them, talk about what they need, if there's something missing, if there's something that I can do for them. Investors are really great because they're going to be long-term, multiple transaction clients that you're going to deal with, that I will deal with. Yeah. Right. That's very good. Now, also we see that there are compliance change all the time, and law do change all the time too. How do you keep up to date so you have your clients safe and up to date with law, with compliance, with the law, with brokerage, with the title company? How do you keep with up to date with the law and compliances?
It's really important to continually educate yourself, continue to grow, continue to understand your not only your market, but the business that you're in. And because real estate is my business, I'm always involved in reading resources and keeping track of the trends that are happening in the market and understanding the changes that are happening legally, so that I can help mitigate those when they come up with our clients.
Beautiful. Well, I really want to thank you for the interview, for your time. I know you're busy agent. So just final thought, if you have anything to say, feel free to say it to the viewer.
Hey, well, thank you for allowing me to be here, and first. Secondly is, investing is really great. I really think not only as a realtor, but as also an investor myself, owning real estate is the best place to be putting your money. Even right now with higher interest rates, I don't think that should be something that should scare you. I think you should look at it as an opportunity, because once those rates start to come down, we're going to start to see prices go up. So if you're looking to get in real estate, we service the entire Rio Grande Valley. We're here to serve you. I really appreciate you having me here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for the time. Also, I'll have Robert information in the description box. So if you need to reach out to them, again, they are open 7 days. So you can reach them about if you're looking to invest as a fix and flip, buy and hold. Feel free to reach out to them, give them a call, and they can definitely help you with the investment strategy that you look for. So thank you so much, Robert.
Yeah,
Nice
appreciate
talking
it.
to you.
You too.
Thank you.